Even though on the monthly, on the higher time frame, I'm bullish, but on the 4 hour and on the daily, I'm bearish on AUD USD for the next 300 pips. Let's take a look at AUD USD. So we're going to do the time frame analysis. We're going to start off on the monthly. You know that by this point, we're looking for the swing high, the swing low, and the key levels of support and resistance on each time frame. And so, again, I'm using Smart Trader, but I'm going to go old school and I'm going to do it manually this video. And so in order for me to count something as a swing low, I have to have a 5 candle formation of a low center candle like we have here, 2 candles to the right that are higher, 2 candles to the left that are higher. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click here. That's my low. And then I've got 2 highs on the monthly. I've got a high here. That's a high center candle, 2 candles to the left that are lower, 2 candles to the right that are lower. And then my other high is right here. I got high center candle, 2 candles to the left that are lower, 2 candles to the right that are lower. Now, if I want to double check that, make sure that my stuff is right and you're using Smart Trader, then you'll see that we have that here. Now, I also missed a level, it appears. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mark this level off in the middle. But we've covered the levels that need to be covered right now relative to price because we are on the monthly. So I'm going to turn this off and then I'm going to go to Smart Support. And we got the level covered. I will mark off this second resistance level too. And that's done and done. So I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to go down to the weekly and I'm looking for the same thing. Swing high, swing low. And I'm going to mark those levels. So I can't count this as a swing high just yet because the week is not done. But I can count this as a high. Now, my color for the weekly is blue. And then I've got my weekly level of, I got 2 weekly levels of resistance. And then I also got a weekly level of support here. So I want to double check it. Go to my Smart Toolbox, Smart Support. We're covered. Got them. Smart Resistance. Got them. So we're good, right? So I'm going to turn this off. And now we're going to go down to the daily, looking for the same thing. So we're looking for highs and lows. And I know a lot of you guys like, I can't see the candle. I can't see what you're doing. I'm looking for that 5 candle formation, right? That we talked about before. Daily color is red. So I got a high here. I've also got another high here. It's actually a little zone. So I'm going to change this to this format. Really quick, I just want to remind you, if you have not already signed up for the webinar, I'm going to be doing one this Friday. And it's going to talk about how I'm able to catch 400 plus pips a week. I'm going to show you exactly what I do in order to get there, maximize profits, and save time. So if you want to be a part of that, make sure that you go to the page, www.theprofitplay.co/400 pips and register. I'll see you on Friday. That's a little zone right there. And so I am going to look for my lows. I got a daily low there. I'm going to change this format back. And then swing high, swing lows. That's all I'm looking for. And then I got another one here. I got one right here too. So if I want to check it, turn on Smart Support. Bam. I missed one. So I'm going to put this as a little zone. It's a little bit bigger. It's about what, 40 pips. So I'm going to turn this 40 pips between support 1 and support 2. So support 1 is at 0.66289. And then this is at 0.6585. I'm still going to make it a zone. That is, 44 pips. So I'm going to take this off. We're going to turn off Smart Support. And we're going to turn on resistance to make sure we're covered. And we are. So I'm going to drill down to the 4 hour. I'm going to drill down to the 4 hour and I'm looking for the same things again. So on the 4 hour, I got a level here. We're going to turn this back to the pattern that it was. We're going to make that gray. I don't have a high here because this high is still forming. So it'll be what, in about 8 hours, maybe 12 before I see if this is going to be considered a high. So we have a high center candle here. Price is in the middle of forming a candle right here, but we would need another candle after this high center candle to see if this is actually going to be a high. So I can't count it. But what I can do is I have a level of support on the 4 hour here. I've got a level of support on here. And then I've got another level of support right here. I'm going to turn this pattern because this is a little zone. Then I've got another level of support here. So I'm going to turn that back. And then just to check, we're covered. We got everything covered, right? So I'm going to turn that off. And that's what I need on the 4 hour. I can go down to the hour. And I still can't count this as a high until 15 minutes from now or 14 minutes from now, because we do have the high center candle right here, right? We got the 2 candles to the left that are lower, 2 candles to the right that are lower, but this has not closed. So by 15 minutes, if this closes low, this will be considered a high, but I can't mark it off yet. So I'm just looking to see if I have another level of support, and it doesn't appear that I do on this time frame on the hour. Everything that we've chosen, I take that back. We do have a level here. So I'm going to put this is purple. And then we got a little zone. So I'm going to change the pattern just a little bit. And that's a little zone. And everything else we've already got covered. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to turn this off. And I'm going to proceed with the rest of my analysis. So I'm going to go back to the monthly. And then I want to look and I want to see where we are in the fib sequence. So from 2020, price was moving up. But since 2021, last year, February, price has been in a downtrend. But I still want to see overall where we are in the fib sequence. So I'm going to go from my last low. And I've got my low. I used the smart fib. So I went over to the smart toolbox, grabbed the smart fib, click below the last low. So I've got a low, a low, a B high. We had a less than 23.6 pullback. You see it here? Let me zoom in. I know it's a lot of lines on the chart. Try to ignore them. So we had a low. We had a B high. We had a less than 23.6 pullback. So this is that 80-20 play that we talk about all the time. So you see it here. It's on the monthly right now. So price had so much momentum to the upside. The US dollar was weaker than the Australian dollar. And so it continued. It made a small retracement, but it continued to press upward, right? And it stalled out between the 1.27 and the 118. And then what did it do? It came back for a deeper retracement. Now we trade safely to the 38.2. So we probably would have stopped right around the 38.2. If you were running like, twin positions or something like that, you could have let one keep running. But price stalled out and found weekly support at the 61.8 fib level on the monthly. And you see how price reacted at that level. What was that, 2 months ago? October? Yeah, October. So look, price started out at one place, pushed up, pushed down, and then ended back right around where it started. And that's a signal that direction is likely going to change. So if we look on the monthly overall, at the end of the day, what we're expecting price to do is to go to the matching D extension now. Why is that? Because price pulled back to a red level and found support. It appears to be support. I can't say that it is for sure yet, but it appears to be support. And I won't know to the end of the month if this is going to be considered a low. But right now it appears to be support. So my overall bias on the monthly is I'm long on the monthly for AUD USD, right? And so I'm going to be looking for long-term buy setups because I know that price has the potential to travel another 1900 pips before it reaches its target. Now, yes, it could take a whole year for that to happen, right? It's not going to happen overnight. This is the monthly chart. And so I'm just aware on the monthly where we are. Okay. So price hit that key level on the monthly, the 61.8, found weekly and daily support. And now we're going to see if it's going to start to go up, right? So I'm going to go down to the weekly. And I'm just doing the same things over again. I want to see the fibs on the lower time frames. I want to see the fractals. So at this point, this low took out this low. So I'm not interested anymore in that. What I want to see is what are we doing to the downside? So we had A, B, we had a pullback to the 61.8 right here where my mouse is. Price hit that extension, made a low, a weekly low, and we started the sequence over. A, B, we had a 618 pullback at monthly resistance here in between the 786 and the 618, and price overextended. It hit the D extension. That was probably the 38.2 on the higher time frame, but it extended past that. And so now we got to see what's the active fib. So let's see. A, B, we had a 50% pullback. Price reached the D extension. So it's time. That's the weekly. It's time for price to potentially turn around. Now let me click these off. Let me click them off. And so now I'm going to go down to the daily. And I want to see what we're doing to the upside on the daily at this point. Because I've seen that we've already hit the extensions to the downside. So I know we've hit the extensions. The moves have completed. I'm interested to see what's going on to the upside now. So this is the current active fib. So we had an A low. Let me zoom in. We had an A low. We had a B high. We had price pull back to the 38.2. And it found daily support there. Right. And so it came to the 38.2. So the thought would be that we're going to go and look how this is what I talk about when I say confluence. This D extension lines up with weekly resistance, which would make sense. Right. Which would make sense. And so what I'm looking for, are we about to see price try to come back and make a deeper retracement to one of these deeper levels, 618.50, or did it get enough of what it needed, momentum or re-energize, to be able to go up from this level and hit this D extension? That's what we're at right now. So I'm bullish on the daily for odd USD for another 400 pips to the weekly resistance. But you got to keep in mind too that we have to pass through these daily levels. So you have a 4-hour level, a daily level, daily level, daily level, and then take profitage just before the weekly level. Just before the weekly level. So that's good information. I got that. But that 38.2, I don't know. Price might try to come back and I mean, look at what happened here at the 4-hour level. And daily level, price rejected, and it started pushing down, and it looks like there's still heavy sellers in the market. So we may see price come back down before trying to go up. Now, the way that I'm gonna look at that and figure out on the technical side is I'm gonna run my fibs to the downside from the last high. So I click the last high. A, B, price is at the 61.8. So now this makes sense. Why we see selling pressure. And when I say selling pressure, meaning that you see this big wick, like sellers came into the market at the 61.8 pullback level. They came in heavy and they're pushing price down. They've been pushing price down since the 38 or the 50, the 38.2. Like the sellers are there. They're not more than the buyers, but they're still there and making an impression. This signals to me that, you know, there's still room potential to the downside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark this off. This level, and now I got to go back up to see where that falls on the up fib level. So let me straighten out my chart. Let me get my smart fib tool. I'm gonna click below the last low. Yeah, so nah, that's interesting. The target to the downside lines up with the 61.8 fib level to the upside. So how I would play this, we're on the daily. I'm going to get rid of this fib. This makes sense to me. But we got to pass through those two daily levels before. This makes sense to me. So from price was at a 61.8, the matching D extension is at 0.64607, right? So I'm going to go down to the 4-hour. Oh, yeah. And A, B, 618. So the first one on the 4-hour, you'll take profit. Your first take profit is here. If we go up to the daily, the next take profit to the downside is at the level that we talked about. See, And let me move this up just a smidget. Yeah. So I'm going to get rid of this fib. And the way that I would look at this is I'm going to drop down to the 4 hour. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run fib or trend line. So I'm going to grab my ray. And I'm going to go from the last low to the next touch, which is here. I don't like this thick black line, but I think you guys can probably see better if I use it. And then I'm going to go from the last touch to the next touch, which is here. That's all I can get on the 4 hour. Now, if I want to see more, I got to go down to the 1 hour. So I got my outer, I got my long term, and now I'm drawing my inner. I'm just going to make this a little bit neater. Ooh, yeah. Look at that. What is this? The hour? I need to go look at the news. What happened? And if I drop this down even lower, 30 minute. So if I was to use my smart Fibonacci, I keep saying smart Fibonacci, my smart trend line, click below the last low, you got a break right there. And so now what you're going to do is you're going to wait. Yeah. How many pips is this? This was today, 9:30 in the morning. Some news must have come out for either USD or AUD. So that's 44 pips. So once price finds a low, I was trying to see if I'd be able to see it here. Let me grab the smart fib too. A, B, 6, 1. Yeah, so this should have stopped at here, but this is a clear signal that price is on its way down. So you got to let price find a low, form that swing low, that 5 candle formation that we talked about, and then you got to wait for a pullback for an entry on the sale. That's what is happening at this point. You got to wait for an entry on the sale. So let price find, which it may find support somewhere in this level, because if you look back, look where my mouse is, that's a level of resistance. If we keep looking left, that's a level of resistance. So it may go through it, it may blow through it, but it may form a level of support. And what you do is once it forms that swing low, then you can pull out the smart fib or your fib. You can measure from the high to wherever that low is. Wait for price to pull back. And if your rule is you get in on the 38.2, then you go ahead, you get in on 38.2 for the rest of the sale, right? Or if your rule is you wait till the 50 and the 61.8, then you wait to see if price comes in for that. But you can set limits in your brokerage account in order to be able to set it and forget it. And just remember that there may be spread, so you have to adjust the numbers a couple of pips to make sure that it gets picked up. Now, obviously, this fib is not drawn to perfection because we don't have a low. Not even on the 15 minute, we don't have a low. So I'm just showing you, once we get that low, you measure your fib, you find your entry based off of where price has been. Let me turn this orange or gold. All right, let's delete this. So you find your entry based off, let's say this low forms, right? So this is my way of drawing a low. Let's say the low forms, and then we wait for a pullback. Let me adjust this. So we have a low here. You wait for the pullback, and then you go in for your position, which it would make sense if this happened because you have a 4 hour level of support, and you got an hour level of support. So, but you got to wait. And then what you would do as far as your stop loss, you would place your stop above your last high. We're going to turn this red. And for those of you wondering, Smart Trader does not have a short and long tool. So you have to manually draw it out. All right. Copy. So even though monthly I'm bullish, on the daily I'm bearish, right? I'm bearish because there's potential for price to continue to the downside for a little ways. Let me zoom out. This looks so big. I want to make sure that this gets to stay and that it looks like something on the higher time frame. So I want to make it wide enough so that it doesn't look like a little sliver once price starts to happen and move. So I'm gonna turn this green. And then, where is that level? Oh, I'm on the 15. That's why I don't see it. I'm on the 15. Did I delete that level? Hold on, y'all. What was that on? Oops. All right. That's the hour. Oh. Y'all. Okay. So, even though monthly I'm bullish on the 4 hour, and really I think that's the daily. On the daily, I'm bearish. So, let me take this to the daily. One day. So if I look at this, I'm going to grab the smart fib. I'm going to click below the last low. This is the active fib. This puts us at the 618, which could make sense. On the daily, I'm bearish, just because of what I'm seeing on the lower time frame. So there's potential, and I won't say that price is definitely going to go to the 618. It might fall somewhere in between the 50 and the 618. But just knowing that I'm bearish on this trade for the next 316 pips or 300 pips, I'm bearish on AUD USD based off the technicals that I see. So even though, again, there's bullish, like it hit 38 too, it did what it was supposed to do, but there are signs that are telling me that we've got a deeper retracement coming before we go up and hit the final target. So that's the multiple time frame analysis. Bullish on the monthly, bearish on the daily, bearish on the 4 hour, bearish on the 1 hour. And there may be smaller plays in between that you could take advantage of, but this is just what I see for AUD USD.